Hello everybody, it's Amanda Davis from Cubbyhole Crafts and I've got another tutorial for you. Let's begin. We're going to start with taking the cursor up to the ellipse tool here and we're going to draw an oval like this, and then we're going to highlight it and go to the little circle with the red circle, which is the offset key, and do an offset. And that's about what we want. So we're going to right click after highlighting them and group, right click again and make a compound path. And now I've got a nice joined together oval. Now if you go into your library, which is this book icon down here, and if you've got any patterns you want to bring one out onto your page. So here I'm going to use the Moroccan background, which I believe comes free with the system. Now that's a bit too big to what we want to actually use, so we're just going to make it smaller. And that's about a nice size. And we're going to put that over the oval. Highlight both items, right click and weld it together. And now we want to remove these outer parts. It takes a little bit of time, so bear with me. So we're going to right click and release compound path, and we're going to remove these. You can move them in big blocks, just draw a box around the bits you want to move and delete. Being careful not to get the ones in your oval. Others you might have to do singly. But it's well worth the effort. There could be a quicker way of doing this, but I haven't found another way as yet. There we go. So now we're going to draw a box around again, right click and group, right click and make a compound path. And I want another oval around there. So I'm going to go up into our offset key here and hit offset. Now I like that distance again, so I'm going to hit apply. Draw a box around, right click, group, right click and make a compound path, and now I've got a solid image. And that's quite nice on its own, or if you want a panel in a card or a topper, you could draw that around and right click, release the compound path, and you would take this one away and it would cut this panel into your card. So that's another way of using it, but for now I'm going to show you how to put another shape around and then have patterns in that one. I'm going to draw a box around. I'm going to regroup it and make a compound path. Now going to the ellipse tool again, and I'm going to draw another oval. I quite like the circumference of that, so I'm just going to move this one temporarily and highlight this one, and again go to the offset key, and I want that just a tiny little bit bigger. Again, draw your box around, right click and group, and then right click and make a compound path. I'm going to bring the first oval back into the centre, and I'm going to line it up. So we're going to draw a box around both and go to your line tool and hit centre, and this part's moved directly to the middle. Now I'm going to make a pattern around here. You can go into your dingbats and choose little flowers. What I'm going to do is actually make a swirl. So I'm going to take my little freehand tool here and I'm going to draw I will draw in a moment a little squiggle like this. I quite like that, so I'm going to highlight it and again go to the offset tool and change the distance a little bit because you want just a nice distance between the line and the offset like that, and hit apply. Now we're going to remove quite simply that centre part and delete. Now this part we're going to make a little bit smaller and put it in between the two ovals, and I'm going to repeat this by going into the replicate tool and duplicate right and put that where I want it to be and keep repeating until the area is filled how I'd like it to be. Oops. Like this. Slightly turn that one. Don't forget your undo button up here is your best friend. And keep repeating the pattern. Obviously you can spend a little bit more time on judging your distances. And when you're happy with your design like that, we're going to draw a box around it all, right click and weld, and now you've got a pattern within a shape with another pattern within another shape. I'm going to draw a box around and check that everything is made of a compound path, which it is because it says release compound path there. So all this is nicely joined. Now you can actually add to this if you want to have a solid piece in the middle. We'll go back to the tool here and draw a smaller oval. Draw a box around and weld, and this gives you a solid piece in the middle. Or if you prefer, you could have a letter. So go to the undo button and we'll remove that oval, and I'm going to choose a letter out of here. I'll go with the letter G. Make it the size that you want it to be. And again, draw a box around, right click and weld. and now that's put the letter in the centre. You could actually put a whole word in the gap there, and it will cut with these letters being solid like that. And if you want to take it one step further, we can then change the size of this. You could even change the shape slightly. Now, bearing in mind this pattern here, obviously the smaller you go, the finer it's going to cut, so I would use a lighter weight cardstock, and then you've got less chance of it breaking. But play around with the settings, and what I'm going to now do is draw a box. So that would be my card blank, and I'm going to rotate this even though the G's upside down. Now you could have it just as a topper as it is, but if you want to fix it so it actually cuts out of your blank card, you would right click, release compound path, and you would move the outer circle like this, and then it would cut, leaving the swirls here, this circle here, this oval here, and the gaps here would all be cut out. And it's quite effective in a card if you've got a quick and simple card. That concludes the lesson for this evening. Hope you enjoy it and have fun making and playing with shapes. Thank you very much. Bye bye now. Off the panel like this, if you do that and you just want this part cutting out, then you would